Apparently there was a Tijuana man convention this week.
I'm gonna make it, Beverly. I'm gonna make it. That's what he says.
Okay. This Lenny is no slouches. I'm very happy to see everyone here. As a kid, when my family first came over from Michigan, we came to California. Michigan! Yeah, it was to me, ladies.
Mike is terrible.
Well, you know, we took a plane, but we did the I found because Hollywood is only 30 minutes away instead of like 3,000 miles, I started crashing sets as a kid with my brother Donald. You know, and the greatest set I ever crashed as a kid was Return of the Living. I mean, not only was Beverly very cool, Brian gave me a tour of the set. I got to watch you guys doing a scene, and you were fully dressed. I saw James Cameron. Tony, you were coming onto it. It was the last tortured week of the previous guy. But Brian was already putting your name out there, and he clearly will.
How old are you?
You know what I mean? And I had to find a friend whose parents were divorced so he could go out all night without anyone freaking out. So that was the way you could set crash in those days. My brother Donald was sort of a demented genius. He found out every production shot in the valley. This is when movies were actually made. No, but they're not too funny. But I mean, we found you guys were shooting in Silva, and Bill Stout had done that amazing cemetery. I mean, it was just kind of exciting. Lynette quickly walking around naked was another highlight. It was what?
Describe that way. Covered in rainwater.
Yeah. So I'm going to go down, and you're each going to talk about your experiences on the film. By the way, Tony Garner, Oscar nominated. Thank you again. Also made a big response to my Rondo nominated Fangoria article, Killer Killer. He's a zombie in the original Killer. And that was a monster.
That was my childhood.
Well, yeah, that was not you, Tony. Yeah. So, are we going? Brian Pack, come in again. We're going to shoot right down the line. Tell us about your return experience, Brian Pack.
This will be quick.
He's in every one of the first three Return of the Living Dead movies.
I'm in every one of the Return of the Living Dead movies except for two. What Pat's trying to say. First of all, I want to thank Pat for dressing up for us tonight. I mean, you don't usually see him in a blue t-shirt. What do you want me to say? My Return of the Living Dead experiences.
Yes.
How do I begin about that?
Take your time.
It was great. It was amazing. I mean, I always feel like I'm repeating myself because kindly now we've been able to do this so many times that I feel like these stories are old. But I'm a huge movie fan. I'm still a huge movie fan. I'm a huge horror movie fan. I love the zombie movies. I went to every George Romero zombie movie the day it opened. I remember going to Dawn of the Dead. They had a midnight screening. I was in high school. I talked my mother into letting me stay up late to go see it. So I was a big horror aficionado, particularly zombie movies. And when I read the script, I freaked out going, I would like to see them to be in this movie. So when I got cast, I got to do the movie, and I got to work with Dan O'Bannon, who I was a fan of because of Alien. When I got cast in this movie, I had one Alien hanging on the wall in my bedroom. I was such a fan. And I was just beyond excited to be in this movie.
How much did it cost you to get into the movie?
The SAG scale back then was about $1,200 a week. So somewhere around there. And I will also, and this is the honest guy too, I had done a lead role in a film a couple years earlier called The Last American Virgin. But the difference in Last American Virgin was that there was no one in the movie that I had ever seen in another movie. So I felt like Last American Virgin was like some crappy low-budget movie. I was happy to do it. It got me in the Screen Actors Guild. But I just thought, this isn't a real movie. No one's ever going to see this. And then it got a real release. But the fact that when I did Return of the Living Dead, the fact that James Karen was there, like, you know, the guy who moved the house. And the fact that Lou Gallagher and Don Gow, it's like, it felt like I was like a real.
And it also hurt, Lou Gallagher lives here, he lives in that seat right next to
And sadly, I mean, Lou and Don would have been here tonight, they passed away earlier today. They shall return. Yeah, they will.
Pathetic. It couldn't go.
Yes.
Clue likes the front row.
Beverly, what was your experience like?
We got a battle Clue for the front row.
I don't like horror movies. So for me, it was more horror movies. Look, you scared me. I didn't care for those. What'd you do, Miss Heck? They're frightening, right? I might be on my list.
Jewel said horror movies.
Horror,
She said
not
horror.
horror. Anyway, so I don't care for horror movies, but it was a coveted thing back in the 80s to get a horror movie. And so I never go into the interviews, and I wanted it so badly. And
We had margaritas before.
I had two, so I'm the winner. No, so it was a lot of fun for me, except it was really muddy and dirty. I had a bit of a rough time on it because Dan was, yeah.
Does anyone have pepper spray?
It was great. It was really exciting because it wasn't going to have a horror movie. And John will take over now.
I'm glad Brian went first. So you can go right after me. And I'll say that Brian and I went to USC to give me rides to the set. He had a mohawk. She was a total bitch to me the entire time. Fucking nerd. Not till after principal photography. No, and then. They had little cameras that everyone had, so I couldn't have that on film and go, yeah, but I didn't have one of that film. I didn't hang around the set. I didn't talk to anybody. I wasn't friends with anybody. And it wasn't until 20 years later when we started doing these things that I started. Except for Jewel afterwards, when she sucked my dick.
I'm sucking John's dick. She's a
Now I find that I was foolish. But of course, I was a married man. I could not be anything. Well, I was married to somebody. Not you.
Jimmy, you were married to your work.
I don't remember any of that. I don't remember the movie. Who are you?
I'm Michael Douglas from Wall Street.
You look good.
Straight Tony Robbins?
Let's see, I got on this movie because I know Brian Pack. And
He still
Brian,
owes me 10%.
yeah, I still haven't gotten any of my money, so he's still waiting. He was playing a character named Scuzz. I was going to go see or try him. And he was the very preppy, straight-toothed, collar-up guy who was going to play a mohawk punk rocker and wanted some skanky teeth. So I was his skanky teeth dentist, and that led to me meeting Beverly, and then Dan at Dan's house, and I was a huge alien geek. I'd already built a chess poster in my bedroom, got ready to my homepage, I got it on my mom. I was a total fan, and I had shown him just some photos of some things I'd done. And one was a dead corpse I was building for a Halloween decoration for myself. I had nothing else to do apparently. And he's like, oh, that's cool, we have something like that in our movie. This other really cool company's doing it. And that was the end of it. Well, they went bankrupt a few weeks later, we called it up, and I kind of get involved. So, again, all things lead back to Brian and his crooked teeth. So I very much appreciate the fact that Brian has an excellent dentist in the channel, and he needs to help him look like shit.
This fellow is cop number 1 from the book.
I was just thrilled to be a part of the film. Mostly I wanted to get involved with it because I heard that Joel would suck my dick. No kidding aside though, I did have centerfold pictures of Joel above my bed. And
I had an alien poster.
But actually, I was thrilled to work with Jimmy Karen and Clu Gallagher and all of these guys. But I mean, I come from Texas, and Clu Gallagher did the Last Pictures show, and so I was like, it was filmed right in my hometown, and I was just like so excited to be around him. But even more exciting was in makeup when Linnea Quigley was having her body makeup put on. I happened to be in the makeup chair right beside her, and the makeup artist kept having to do this to me. It was, yeah. It's a memory that's embedded here.
She walked around.
Are you talking?
Don't lick it.
She was so adorable, and she just walked around like it was nothing to be naked. I love all these new descriptions about her laying on her dress and all. I love that. I'm going to tell her that. I'm going to text her. Guess what? But no, it was lovely. Yeah, it was precious.
Here's what I find really interesting. Linnea is adorable, and by the way, still has the same tiny, beautiful body. She's 103 now. Anyway, but it was so bizarre because funny, now when she talks about it, she's very demure and she goes, it was kind of weird, it was kind of uncomfortable. I don't remember any of that. The girl never put her clothes on. And walked around naked like you want a robe. Fine. And so, all the time. And now she says, yeah, it was kind of weird. You never even put on a robe.
You would have done the same thing had you looked that good. Looked that good.
I do that now.
Aside from any of the wonderful joking about the film was actually beautifully worked on. Everybody was very serious about it. We were very fortunate to have a director, Dan O'Bannon, who allowed us to rehearse, which is something almost never done. We rehearsed for a week, full salary. Everybody got to know one another, and everybody knew the gist of the shooting. I've said this before, we've talked about it, but we rehearsed as though it was stage play. We did it just as the movie had been written. And it gave us an emotional map, so that when you shot this scene 74, and then we shot scene 3, then scene 500 or whatever it was, you knew where you were. And you also, we got to know and like each other, And I think it made a world of difference, which is why we turn out together all the time. I don't know. I don't know. I've done over 100 films, and I don't know another film where we cling to each other and meet. I did a movie with the gentleman down in the first row here. I can't remember his name.
The skinny fellow in
But we shot a movie in Greece, and we have the same thing, and we still meet. But that's the only other movie I know where people still have a sense of fellowship about the work we did. And I bless Dan O'Bannon for allowing us to do that. And also we had Tom Fox, who didn't know much about producing, and allowed us to do our job, which is that was the talent. He was very supportive, and it was a wonderful experience, and I thank all of you really for it, and those of us who are not here. I want to mention a marvelous person who was in it, who was so good, who left us early. Charming young man, who, what was his name? Suicide. Who really was just terrific, and moved the whole bit in the car. Well, that's it. I just want to say it was a remarkable experience, quite unusual, and we're grateful for it. Yes, but before the questions start, I want to say, for Christ's sake, somebody, we've been doing this for many years now, somebody come up with an original question. No, Steven Spielberg did not direct this film.
Hands up in the air, just like 3K. You!
Aside from the aforementioned fellatio, was there any people on the set trying to have sex?
Well, I will tell you.
Thank you.
Very good question, and I'm glad you asked that question, young man.
Los Angeles.
But I will say this.
Welcome.
There was a slight problem with sexual behavior on the show. The half-corpse that Tony had made kept yelling, "More brains," and Brian's just didn't understand it. He kept trying to give her head. As to any other sex, I cannot attest to, because I was here. I was half dead.
Questions?
I didn't even know about the aforementioned fellatio, so we're all learning things here. The only head I knew about was the yellow corpse.
Are there any other intelligent questions?
Anybody? Raise a hand, ask a question. Peter Cowards. You!
I'm curious, in the beginning of the film says it's based on a true story. I always thought that was a comedy, but was it based off of anything?
No, it was a true story. There was these cans of stuff. You know, the army, it was an army. These cans all they came to this place downtown. Do you need a medical warehouse? That part of it is true. Those cans, there's one still there. Yeah, so if you want to make a remake, make sure you got it.
My comment on that is, no, obviously it's not based on a true story, but I've always thought, well, like, you get in trouble for saying that? Obviously, we never got in trouble for saying that, but we said that, and it's bullshit, so.
When you're telling the story about the army thing, I thought that's what you were basing it on, you know, not necessarily the dead back life, but something that's.
That's how good James Karen is.
Find out about it.
Tony, what was your favorite effect in the film when you were working?
His own.
Anything with Brian I like thinking about Brian No, I mean, for me, it was the first thing that I worked on that was like my own project. So it was all new, and all these guys were so fucking scary to work with. Don't look at me like that.
I like you then.
No, it was intimidating actually to come in after it had gotten started and see a group of people that had, well, you can see there's a shorthand and there's a comfort and there's a dynamic to them. They all respect and now obviously love each other, which is why they can torture each other so endlessly. But that sense of community, in the beginning was sort of intimidating, but to walk into it and be welcomed into it by everybody and have everybody basically say, come on in, let's play, was awesome. To walk in with the half corps and have it paraded around the art department and then brought to the set and everybody, being so happy, and then Brian actually doing the dialogue and puppeteering the mouth and Bill Stout puppeteering the spine and squirting spinal fluid all over Brian. I mean, it was just such a nice thing to walk into. Everybody, and we're playing off people that, like I said, it was really my first film experience, and I just sort of.